All right, we've got Matt Kenseth. He's joined us here today, and he is driving the number 17 Valvoline Next Gen Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. Second in points, one victory on the season, and certainly you're not going to be able to hide anywhere this weekend wearing that shirt and that hat, but glad to have you in here with us. Talk about, we're down to 3 races before we reset. And I know you've got to be looking to get another W or two here down the road.
Yeah, just kind of like to get things rolling, I guess, more like we were early season, mid-season form. We just last 3 out of 4 weeks have been pretty much disasters in my book. So I'm pretty surprised and excited that we're still second in points after everything that's went on here the last 4 weeks. So glad to be here at Bristol. We had a great run in the spring, and hopefully we can have a good one here tomorrow.
Questions from Matt? If you have one, raise your hand.
Not everybody at once.
Over here, Mike Embry, and then we go to Nate and to David, okay?
Mike Embry, speed.com. Is it easy being green?
So far, I've only been green for 10 minutes, so so good.
What's your impression of how the racing is going to be different, or do you think it will be with the track change?
Well, I haven't been on a track yet. And I didn't really get to watch all of the truck race, so at this point I really don't have any idea. Whatever I told you would be totally fabricated because I just don't know yet.
Let's go over here to Nate, then we'll go to David.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Matt, one of the big topics of discussion this week has been the rear suspensions and what people are doing to them to make the cars go faster. Greg and Jack both talked about that after the win last week at Michigan and said you guys were working in that area and having some success. Can you talk about what you know about it, and has it changed how the car drives, and do you feel like it's, where you guys are working is keeping you within the bounds of legality but also gaining speed toward where apparently the Hendrick cars are?
Well, I guess that explains why our engineering department was so mad Monday when I talked to them. I didn't realize they were talking about all that. But I don't really talk about any technical stuff with the car, just because if there was any kind of advantage we were working on or trying to gain or get better than somebody, that would certainly give it all away as soon as it's in the media. So I don't really get into that. We're always working on our car within the rules as hard as we can, everything we can do from front to back to try to make it faster.
So are you always comfortable that where they're working is not going to put you in a place where you can...
Yeah, I mean, I always, I think that's, these days I don't think you can afford to have something illegal. You can see how huge the penalties are when you do. So I think we're always trying to work within those rules and work within the framework of NASCAR's rules. Get your cars go as fast as possible without crossing the line.
David, do you have a question? Raise your hand. We'll go David, and we'll go over here to this gentleman here.
Yeah, Matt, David Newton, ESPN.com. Bad writer. I wanted to ask you, do you look at this weekend as critical for the track at all with the bashing they took after the spring race? They went ahead and ground the track to make changes. I mean, do you feel like if they don't see some changes on Saturday night that it could have a long-lasting effect?
I don't know. I think things, I think things snowball. And a lot of it's, maybe what a few people's opinions are. Or, obviously these days was social media and everybody on the internet and reading the stories. And, I mean, I think that has more to do with anything. I mean, I think that, if you didn't listen to the guy sitting next to you in the seat, I think everybody's got different opinions. I thought the race in the spring was pretty entertaining. I mean, it's not, everybody talks about the old Bristol and people knocking each other out of the way and fighting and all that stuff. Well, we raced these cars at Bristol before they reconfigured it, and there was hardly any passing. There wasn't any of that stuff. I mean, it was different. Things change over time, and I thought the race in the spring was pretty good. I mean, Brad won the race. We came out with the lead. I think after that last stop, we ran side by side for 10 or 15 laps, rubbed on each other a little bit, and he ended up getting the lead and getting a win. I mean, I thought that was great. I mean, but everybody's going to want something different. I mean, we tried to narrow the track up and take grooves away to take passing away. So I'm a little confused on the whole concept to start with. So we'll see how the racing is. I think the racing's always exciting here. It's a really cool facility and venue, no matter what the track is like in the middle of it. Honestly, with the night race here and putting all those people in there, and racing's always close and there's always a lot of action. So I didn't really answer your question, I guess, but I think all the races are pretty good here. I haven't really seen a real bad one here. I think the racing's always entertaining.
Go over here, then we'll go over to ESPN. Go ahead.
Hey, Matt. Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. It changes aside. I'm curious, how does this track compare, similar, different to Richmond, and do you have a preference between the two at this point?
It's totally different. I mean, I've always really liked Richmond a lot. I've always really liked Bristol a lot, but they're totally different racetracks. Lately, we've ran really bad at Richmond. It's always been one of my favorite tracks, but we've ran really bad there, and we haven't ran as bad here. So usually, how you run is how you rate the racetracks, as much as you like or dislike, going to them. But I think they're both really great tracks and facilities and great events coming up right before the Chase, being Saturday night races and all that. So I really like them both.
Go ahead. Far right side here, Matt.
Matt, hey. Alex Scoot, ESPN. Just a question for you and your experience at this track. What makes, from a driver's perspective, what makes a driver that gets around here really well? And did that change at all when the move was made to progressive banking? Are there traits now as a driver that you need more that you didn't before?
It's definitely changed a lot, yeah. I mean, the car's changed a lot, and then the reconfiguring of the track, it's a totally different track than what it was before they did it. I mean, it was real old. It had a lot of patches. The apron was almost the same, a little less banking than the track, so you could use the apron to turn, which you can't do any of that now. So, I mean, the track's totally different since they reconfigured it, honestly. It made it drive like a bigger track, almost. So, things change for driving style, from changing the racetrack, from changing the cars. All that stuff has changed a little bit. So, first and foremost, having a fast car, helps your driving style a lot when you come here. So getting your car, turn better than everybody else's and still be able to get off the corner where you can pass is really the key, because people are going to be running as high as they can possibly run, and it's hard to finish that pass in the bottom.
Right next door to Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Matt, how in competition does your expectation of your teammates differ as opposed to everybody else you're racing, in terms of giving room and being kind and the driver code and that type of thing?
For me, I race them the same. I mean, I race, I still race Mark Martin and Jeff Burton the same as I did as when they were on our team. So I don't think that really changes. I mean, you never want to put your teammate in a bad spot, but I don't know that you ever want to put anybody in a bad spot, that you want to race against all the time. You're going to go race hard against them, and you want to beat them, but I don't think you really plan your strategy much different. Talladega and Daytona aside, that's a little bit different, when you're trying to work together and draft. But I think at the rest of the tracks, once they drop the green on the race, it's still one against 42, except for the two drafting tracks.
Anybody else for Matt?
All right. If anybody wants one of these green shirts, they might be selling them somewhere. Just let me know. I'll have Jessica or somebody run around, take your name, sizes, get you some.
We'll be sure to do that, Matt.
All right. You'll be the first.
Yeah.
Large, extra large?
XL.
XL, got it.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.